I, what's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Today, I'm taking a look at Bitcoin Cash, BCH, against the US dollar Tether on the Binance chart. We're going to be taking a look at the technical aspects of price action moving forward, some key levels where I think price action is going to be in the short to midterm, my bullish or bearish perspective on Bitcoin Cash. Jumping right into it, to recap, most recent kind of price action here between key levels around 369, 68 kind of dollars and $600 seems to be a key level that key range that we've been kind of bouncing aggressively through and within for a good several weeks here, kind of multiple months, like a good almost 3 months of sort of consolidation between this huge range between these levels above significant resistance around $500, and we are now entering or appear to be interacting with what is another key resistance level. And the last kind of times we've interacted with it, we've had a 32% dump in a day after getting rejected from this $590 level, kind of $600 kind of psychological level here. We've had some pretty key rejections off of, but we've also been able to fly through it upon retracing from it. Probably had a kind of pullback, like a 10% pullback within the day that was bought up, and we were able to pump 10% past that significant kind of level there, all the way up to the swing high past $700, all the way up to almost $800 after failing to hold the psychological kind of $700 level. You plummeted all the way back down to 400, but we were bought up to what became support here at 500. Traded sideways for a couple weeks here, a good month and a bit of kind of sideways accumulation between this range. We had a rejection off of this $600 psychological level yet again, swinging all the way down to the $441 level, a 26% kind of rejection, kind of pullback over the course of like a week and a bit, printing a higher low relative to the other kind of dips in the most recent kind of price action. We are now interacting yet again with this $600 range. In my previous analysis that I posted a little over a week ago, we were closing below this significant price action here around the $500 level. We were closing below, and I suspected, based on this kind of most recent kind of move here, the way that prices interacted, kind of like this, gave me a suggestion that we could have had some more bearish consolidation after this kind of move, because we printed what appeared to be head and shoulders, having some significant rejections off of that $600 level, and it appeared to be the head and shoulders reversal pattern. But we were quickly bought up. We found support along the $450 kind of level there, and we were able to close above 500 and interact with $600 again. Now, I'm still I'm still kind of neutral on Bitcoin Cash at the moment. I'm happy to see prices being bought up, and we are still in demand, and we are still accumulating of this kind of range. This now appears to be, based on this kind of most recent price action, perhaps a double bottom, which is bullish and suggests that we found support. So there's kind of a lot going on here, lots of deciding factors, a lot of things. Technical analysis is very key in predicting the kind of future price action and where prices will become more or less volatile. But you also have to take in the fundamental aspects of the project you are considering. And so fundamentally, Bitcoin Cash has plenty of upside to go and plenty of room ahead. And there are plenty of long-term holders for Bitcoin Cash, and realistically, they could have a pretty long-term future in the crypto sphere if they can maintain the trajectory that they're heading on. When we turn on EngineeringRobo, we have a new perspective come into play. we have the super buys and buy fours coming in after some consolidation as traders take profit. There's plenty of long-term holders, but there are also plenty of traders waiting to take profit at key levels and will sell off. But there's also as many traders waiting for these dips to buy them up. We have consolidation sideways of over a month before breaking. Then we have another now in most recent kind of this pattern here. If we were to go from kind of the beginning of January of 2021, we've been pretty much trading sideways in this crazy multi-$100 range for almost 3 months now. And so breakout is pending, and I believe a breakout upward is pending. We could easily see interaction with the $600 to $700 level again if we could kind of close above and break through this zone. I believe another significant zone that we will find interaction in is around the $670 to $740 level, so like a kind of like a $70-ish range, where I believe prices will kind of interact with and perhaps find some resistance. Say we fly through, as you can see, there's a buy 4 looking to print on this daily candle here, but this candle has not closed yet, so the buy 4 signal is not confirmed, and price action could change within the day, and the buy 4 could go away. The candle has to close for the buy 4 to be confirmed. We have some red interaction with EngineeringRobo's cloud here, suggesting some bearish pressure and sell pressure, and as with interacting with this resistance, could suggest a pullback, a rejection off this level, perhaps down to the kind of $550 kind of range there. If we find support there, then I believe we would have survived the rejection, and we could very easily find our way back up to the relative swing highs in this price action here. If we were to hold this kind of 550 level, then I believe we would have survived the pullback off of the dreaded $600 kind of sell-off range. I do suspect if we were to fly through this range, we will probably most likely interact kind of up in here, up in between this kind of 740 and 670 before taking off past it and creating a higher high. When we consider Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin, we have some interesting price action going on here. We have support found, what appears to be support found along this trend line we've been interacting with since February of 2020. So significant price action along this trend line here, up now until just recently, finding support along this sort of 9,217 Satoshi level. I believe we're interacting with what appears to be another sort of resistance kind of range. I believe this to be some significant sort of resistance here. We interacted above it, getting support from it, rejected off of it back in January of 2021. It was significant support for a while, for a few months. Finally, we fell right through it, interacted within this range, got rejected from the top of it again, came back out, thought we bottomed, pulled back up, but was rejected again off of that kind of key zone there. We appear to be bottoming again along this this kind of 9,000 to 9,400-ish Satoshi kind of level. I suspect some interaction within this range. Perhaps we get a rejection off of it, and then maybe we interact kind of within it. But I suspect this to be some key resistance kind of moving forward. We could perhaps print a double bottom on this chart, and that would maybe look kind of something like that. And this would be a much more gradual kind of accumulation for Bitcoin Cash, and eventually we will be able to gain against Bitcoin after Bitcoin decides where it's going in the kind of near future here. But I suspect some further resistance kind of in the near future as we are approaching some sort of key levels here. We turn on EngineeringRobo, and we have a new perspective kind of come into play. We have the sell 4 still present. We have the super buys and buy 4s along this top of this kind of range here, along the 10,000, 11,000 sort of Satoshi level. where prices found support, very significant volume and buy pressure, causing these super buys and buy floors to pull up. But with Bitcoin's volatility and Bitcoin affecting the price of all other kind of cryptos, we have the sell floor come back into play. We are still below this 200-day moving average, but we are finding our way back up toward it, and I believe open and closing above that moving average will be very, very long-term bullish, but will take quite some time to, not quite some time, but some time to get kind of back above it. I suspect perhaps a few weeks to a month or so before we can kind of get above it, unless we can print kind of one of these within a day, which is quite possible. 30 to 50% in a day or two is very possible if we start closing above this kind of 10,000 Satoshi level there. Now, when we consider the EngineeringRobo's fear and FOMO zone on the BitTrex chart for BitcoinCash, now only BitTrex because in this case it has enough price action and data to allow the fear and FOMO zone to be kind of calculated. That is the thing with looking at the Binance chart, is that Binance is a relatively new exchange and only goes back so far, and only recently newer coins have been being listed on Binance, and it is a relatively new exchange to the crypto sphere, and doesn't have the longest price action, and the charts don't go back that far, or they only go back so far. And so in this case, BitTrex has enough data to print the fear and FOMO zones, and we are still a good 160, 170% away from the FOMO zone. And once we interact with that range, we can experience some very aggressive sell pressure and a lot of traders taking profit. But we could also experience a lot of traders buying tops and pushing us back to higher highs and perhaps all-time highs. Now, in a previous analysis, I was mentioning this like pretty much $600, $500 kind of level here being, this $500 level around here being relative all-time highs, and that was at the Binance chart, and that was a hilarious oversight. But as prices go all the way up to almost over $4,000, so this is definitely nowhere near all-time highs. We are definitely far below. We're like 600% away from all-time highs. And I mean, this is only on the BitTrex chart, so from that relative all-time high, we are 600% away. So plenty of upside in the long term. We are still got plenty of room ahead. This is just another phase of accumulation. If you were accumulating back in between September and November of last year, and back in briefly in December as well, say you bought the dips around $250 and you were trading till now, you are up over 100%, 120%. You've seen almost 200% if you were to take profit at that kind of swing high there. If you trade all the way to the FOMO zone, you would have made 500% in however long it takes to get there. I suspect we'll be able to get there within the kind of near future here, within the next perhaps 6 to 8 months. I can see interaction above $1,000 to $1,500, but I do believe $1,000 is going to be pretty significant resistance, as it is a very nice psychological round level. We could very easily come up and do something like that, but I suspect $1,000 to be heavy resistance, and we could easily see perhaps a 40 to perhaps 30 to 40% pullback from $1,000, as that would be a really key psychological round level. Thank you for hearing my analysis. Thank you for tuning in. Look out for EngineeringRobo's buy and sell signals